Hello again, welcome back to All Crone Up, it's Frances. And today I want to talk about love languages. I haven't talked about love on this channel yet, but I think we're going to start to dive into a bit of love stuff. We love it. I do anyway. So the 5 love languages, when I found out about them, it was an absolute game changer. So I thought I'd share them here in case you don't know about them. If you do, brilliant. But if not, so there's this chap called Gary Chapman. You can look him up. And he has this quiz. And the quiz tells you what your love languages are, or what your love language is. And from that point, then you can move and work out what other people's are and things like this. So I'll go through what they are first, which will make more sense. Okay, so I'm not in any particular order. So we've got 5 love languages. 1, try and remember them. Okay, physical touch, acts of service, gifts. The 4th one is quality time. And what's the 5th one? Words of affirmation. Now, interestingly, I did words of affirmation last because that's one of my main ones. And so the idea is that if your love language, for example, is words of affirmation, when somebody says to you, "Oh, I love you," or "I'm really proud of you," or "Oh, that's amazing, you've done such a good job," or anything to boost you with words, that's when you go, "Oh, that's lovely. I feel that. I feel really seen and held and loved." Okay? And also then your way of talking about your way of showing love is to tell people how much you love them, to tell them how special they are to you, and things like that. So that becomes your language. So words of affirmation. Physical touch, it's not just the obvious physical activity, but it's also having the hand on the shoulder, or holding hands, or touching. I love this my grandmother used to hold. I can't do with both hands because one hand is holding the selfie stick, but she used to cup both of my cheeks, and I just felt so held and loved by her. I loved that because physical touch is really high up on mine as well. And so it's anything like that. And so when you feel like you love somebody and you're a physical touch person, you will want to hold them and stroke their hair and put your hand on their back or around their shoulders, or have arm in arm with a friend and things like that. So that's physical touch. Quality time. I'm also I do them all, actually. That's not quite true, but what did I say? Quality time. That is obviously when hello, when you spend time with a person. It doesn't have to be doing a particular activity. You can be just chilling. One person reading a book, the other one maybe on the computer or on a phone, but you're in the same room, you're spending time with each other. You could be on a walk together. Excuse me. You could be doing a particular activity. You could be driving somewhere. You could be doing something. I love this one as well. This one it shows that the person is there for you if they have time for you, because time is just so, it just flits quickly away, doesn't it? So it's really, really important to show the person by giving them that time. Gifts. Now, Mum was a gift person. She used to love it. She used to put like a £5 into an envelope and give it to me behind her back so that no one else could see. And she put a little note saying, this is to buy yourself something nice, or just I will pick up a feather and give it to a person. "Oh, I was thinking about you and I saw this feather. So here's." It doesn't have to be something expensive. It doesn't have to be something like that you've spent ages to choose. I can find a stone or a shell on the beach and just go, "Oh, I think of so and so," and then give it to them. So it can be easy like that. But equally, when somebody gives you an actual thing, then you think, "Oh, they must really love me because they've thought about me and they've given me this thing." So So that's a good one. And the last one is acts of service. Have I done all of them? The last one is acts of service, and that is doing something for somebody. Without falling over. Now, acts of service, this is not a sexist comment, but a lot of men are acts of service people. And they like to do things for you. They like to fix things, and they often will enjoy showing you that they love you by putting the bins out. And they go, oh, I put the bins out. And you go, oh yeah, all right, well, I've done all of this type of stuff. But actually, by putting the bins out, they're saying, I love you. But just in a different way. Now, it's interesting because I grew up in my family and everybody spoke a different love language to me. In fact, they all spoke, I didn't know this at the time, obviously. They spoke acts of service, and Mum was acts of service and gifts. And so therefore, all of mine, which is time, physical touch and words of affirmation, nobody did. So for years, I thought, I don't belong to this family. I actually thought I was adopted for ages. And I just didn't feel the love that was around me, but I just wasn't aware of it because it wasn't speaking to me in my language. My language is. So the reason that this is really useful is because if you're in a relationship with somebody, or your friend, or it doesn't have to be a partner, or your children, I know the love languages of my children, and I check regularly because they change as they get older. And actually, if you know what their love language is, you can then speak to them in that language. If you're not sure what yours is, there's an amazing quiz online. So if you, I'm going to turn around. If you Google Gary Chapman, or you can Google love languages quiz, it'll come up, and then you'll be able to see, and just, I think it's 50 questions, but A, B, C, D. It's really interesting. Some interesting questions, makes you think a bit. And then it will come up with your kind of percentages, as it were. And then you can go from there, and you can say to maybe your partner or your best friend or your children, you can say, oh, would you like to do this quiz? And we can see where we have the similar love languages, or see if they're different and things like that. So really, really interesting with all relationships that you have. And then when you get good at it, you can start thinking, I bet your love language is so-and-so by the way that you hear them speaking, or by the way that you see them behaving. I think it's a brilliant, complete game changer. So yeah, that's it, I think. I hope this has been helpful. It's been a bit longer than normal, but hopefully in a positive way. Take care. Please put down below what your love languages are, or is, because sometimes people have one or two, the main ones. And say, let me know if this has been helpful. Please share this if you can think of anyone who this might be helpful for them to hear. That was excellent English. But otherwise, have the most glorious day. Lots and lots of love. Mwah.